Hi guys. So, what's the worst job in van life? A bit smelly, a bit inconvenient, a nightmare to try and find somewhere to empty it. It's your black waste. Yep, so today I really can't wait. So hopefully we have got a good solution to our problem. So me and Kevin live full time in our van, so we need to empty our cassette every 3 days. 3 days is fast. You don't want to be travelling around with your cassette almost full, because it's whiffy to say the least. So today is going to be the last day that I am going to empty, I hope, the cassette. It's a job that both me and Kevin do. Haha, no pun intended. Because we have got a new toilet. I'm so happy. I tell you what, some women want Prada, some women want flowers and chocolates. Me, I just want to go to the toilet without thinking, Now we do use public toilets to do what we need to do as much as we can, but when you're out on the road sometimes there is nowhere, so you have to use your loo. But today's the last day. So this is our new baby. It is it's a Separett. It's a tiny Separett. So it is a no water toilet. It's not a composting toilet. We did look into composting toilets, and it takes months and months and months for the compost to actually break down to become compost, or the solids to break down. So we thought, what else is there? So we kept doing lots and lots of research. We looked for weeks, and then we come across a chap who just fitted one of these in. I think he was Canadian, or was he American?
Oh, I can't remember. Anyway,
North American video. And we both looked at one another and we thought, that's what we want. And then we thought, well, there's no way, I bet you we can't get it in the UK. And they do sell it in the UK, next day delivery too. It's a little bit pricier than a couple of the others that we was looking at. And one of them was literally like, you know, you get those plastic boxes you get in pound shops or whatever. And it was just that, basically, with a toilet lid on. And yeah, I'm not slim, and I just wasn't too sure. So this one here, it holds a 7-litre urine bucket, let's call it that, or container. And so it separates the solids from the urine. So you can take the thing out and empty it where you need to empty it. And the toilets break down over a matter of weeks due to a fan. Now the fan takes all the smells away. Apparently your solids are 80% water, so that dries it all out, and it literally becomes like compost very quickly, and you can dispose of that in a bin or somewhere else that you feel that you need to empty it. So there's lots of other unboxing videos which are probably going to be a lot better than ours, so go on and have a look for the unboxing and what have you. We are going to film Kevin taking out our cassette toilet and fitting this, so fingers crossed. It seems like it's going to be straightforward. So the vent you can put either in the floor or to the side. So we're going to have the cubicle where the cassette was. We can have it vented out from there, but we're not too sure yet whether to do it from the ground or the side. Have you made your mind up?
Yeah, no, not yet. Probably, depending on, because you've got to make a hole, which is always scary. So making the hole in the floor is easier to cover up if I balls it up than making the hole, because the only other place to make the hole would be in the opening door where you take the cassette out, which is not going to look pretty.
Well, we decided we could put a vent over.
Yeah, well, it comes with a vent and everything. But if it, I'll see where the template says. It comes with a template, so we'll place a template somewhere, and I think it's going to be easier to stick it in.
And look at all the bits and pieces. It's like comes with loads of stuff.
But don't worry, the instructions aren't that thick. It's in about 10 different languages.
Yeah.
It's all fairly straightforward by the looks of it.
And before we decided on this one, we did watch an awful lot of people that fitted them, and everybody said, I mean, somebody had a dry flush where he had a dry flush one where you like press the thing by burn everything, like coiled itself round in some foil, so you could do that a few times before you had to get it around. I thought, well, that's quite a good idea. But like he said, that, you know, you still had to deal with the smell, and like, you know, there was quite a bit of waste, and you know, he didn't never want to flush it when he just did a wee and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, okay. So hopefully it's going to be weeks before we need to get rid of the solid waste, and just maybe every other day.
For the urine container.
For the urine container.
They do two of these. For motorhomes and stuff, you'd need the container. But if you did want to put it into a fixed position, in a fixed thing, then they do it with, you can, the urine will drain straight out into a soakaway or something like that.
Or a cesspit. So if you've got like an outdoor space, like a shed or allotment shed or whatever, man cave, whatever, these are really good. And also I think this is pretty good for like a downstairs space where you've not got room for a proper toilet, or you haven't got the means for a proper toilet, and you've got young ones, and maybe somebody that's elderly, and you just, I think it's a really good. I'm hoping, I got a vibe, because I'm so excited that this is going to be everything that it's claiming to be, and I'm just so happy. Because I tell you what, that is the biggest pain in the backside, no pun intended neither, of trying to get rid of your black waste, I find. Yeah. So let's just see how it goes. Ooh.
So this is what we've got at the moment. It's a Thetford C200 cassette toilet. I've had a look on YouTube and Google and everywhere else that you look and stuff like that, and it would appear that to remove this, there's 4 screws in the base where the cassette comes out. We'll have a look at that when we go outside. Take out the 4 screws and then the whole thing just lifts off the wall. So fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes. Right then, this is the outside of the van. Now, according to the instructions I've read, you need 2 hands for this. Hang on. That's it, there we go. So this is where the cassette would normally be. We've taken out the cassette, so you don't have to look at all that. And apparently there are 4 screws. 2 are fairly obvious. There's this one here, this one here, and the other 2, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to pick them up on the camera, but there's one here. And there's one here. Now, all they said you had to do was undo those 4 screws and the whole thing just lifts off. However, because this has got the flush on it, the electronic flush, I suspect you may have to take this off as well. Because you can see there's 4 screws here as well. I don't know whether it will just lift off and this is just a facing plate. But we're going to find out. Also, I noticed there's a few screws around here, presumably attaching the bowl section to the flush section. If it all comes out in one go, great. If not, we might have to undo a few more screws. So the Tiny requires a 12-volt feed for the fan to run on, and because this has got an electronic flush, we already have our 12-volt feed in place, which is quite handy. So all I need to do is just disconnect the 12-volt feed, and then I can reconnect it into the Tiny, so that's not too bad. Right then, let's see how far we get. When I was reading about how to take this out, they were saying that the screws are in a high position, so obviously if there is any leakages and stuff, none of the fluids would leak through the screw holes into the main body of the van, which is obviously going to be a good idea. Right, apparently that's all there is to it. So let's go back inside and see if we can lift it up. As you can see, I've had to remove the flush button because there was something holding it in, and I couldn't work out what it was. It certainly wasn't just being held with a bracket, just lift it off. So when I took this off, I found this plastic cover, and I thought, okay then, so maybe there's a screw behind it. And when I removed the plastic cover by means of, there was 4 screws here, here, here and here, I noticed, it was at that point that I noticed that the fill point for the flush was coming in from the outside. In the instructions it said you undo those 4 screws and it just lifts off, and it would appear that the 4 screws are the only thing holding it into the van. However, this is where you fill up for the electronic flush, and this actually goes through into the back of the Thetford cassette. So I've already removed the 4 screws, and then take this out. That's it. And now we can see the back of the toilet. So now, because this, as you can see, went into this piece in here, would have stopped it being lifted up. So hopefully now we should be able to lift it. However, I'm a little bit concerned about the things it's screwed into. We should be able to lift it slightly, and hopefully it will come away. But let's go and have a go. Now, as you can see, it's a lot looser. So hopefully now it will just pull away, and then all we have to do is see where the electrics come from and go to, and we can disconnect them from the outside, and that will remove this. It also solves the problem of where the vent is going to be for the new loo, because there's a big hole in the side of our van. They say just lift it. It's not going to lift. There we go. Sorted. So now we've got it away, we can have a look behind, see where all the feeds are, and put the new one in. I'm quite happy that there's lots of wallpaper there and the floor is still in one piece. I was having visions of having to replace the flooring in here because they cut a hole for the floor or whatever. But you can see the back of the access door for the cassette, and you can see where the flush was filled. So I think that's going to be where our vent comes in or goes out. But we'll see how it goes. Right down the bottom there, you can see the 12-volt feed in. Gonna have a look at the back of the toilet, see if I can find out where they go. And the 2 pipes you see running across the bottom of the floor there for the shower. Right then, it's now fully away, and when they fitted this toilet, there was a bit of a gap down the side. They didn't fit it flush to this piece here. So you can see on the floor down there, loads of crap, you just couldn't get at it. But all in all, not too bad. That was a little bit more complicated than I thought it was going to be, but nothing that we couldn't get around, obviously. Disconnected the 12-volt, and now we've just got to take this out of here and see how we get on. Well, first of all, just really out the door. It's not the biggest door in the world.
And it's always obvious, but guess what? We'll only do we.
Really?
It's psychological, I swear down.
It is.
And you're probably all wondering where we're going to put the toilet. Well,
does anybody want a toilet?
I've been looking for a place to take it down the dump.
Same really, because I mean there's nothing wrong with it. There we go.
That's quite a bit of space, isn't there, to put it?
Yeah.
That good old clean.
We'll get that clean out. And just in case you're wondering where we are, we thought we'd do this. We haven't got like a back garden or anything, and we couldn't find a friend who would offer to lend us their back garden with access for the motorhome. So we thought we'd come down to B&Q. Then that way, if we did need anything, B&Q's just across the road, and we can go and get whatever we need, because we're going to need some silicone seal. I don't think I've got anything left in the van, but we'll have a look. And we were going to need a hole saw, but clearly now we're probably not going to need a hole saw. We might need a plate of some description to cover the outside, unless I can fit the original lock back in, but I think it's going to be easier to try and fit something on top of that, and then we're going to need some sort of adhesive to glue it all together. Right, next stage. Let's put the Tiny in place. We'll clean up the floor and we'll put the Tiny in place and see where we go from there. Exciting! So, here it is in all its glory. We've taken out all the stuff on the inside. It would appear that there's some fixing holes at the bottom here to screw it through to the floor with, and our original idea of putting it through the venting hole where the water supply came in for the flush is no good at all, because as you can see, this is the fan. This is the fan section where it is, and it vents out through the bottom. So the only way we could do it by taking it through the flush hole would be to take it out the side here. Where are we? Here we go. That's it. If I take it out the side, up this side, and then over the top, and that's going to cause all sorts of not very pleasant piping and stuff. So probably back to our original plan of making the holes. Excuse Willow. She's got the sneezes. I don't know why. Oh yeah, she's allergic to the cold. And yeah, so we're probably going to make the vent through the floor, and we'll find a way of blocking up the other hole in there. Right then, let's see if we can get it into place and see what it actually looks like.
Just had a thought.
Yeah.
Underneath, if you make a hole in the floor underneath, what tank is underneath?
Yeah, I don't think there is a tank under there, but obviously that's something we've got to investigate. If not, I can make a hole through there, because these are the templates they give you. Look, it's all very well done. This is the template. You're going to put it against the wall.
Okay.
It's this one we're going to be worrying about, because this one is for the pipe work. If you've just got
the urine outlet,
and this is the one that goes on the floor. So.
Okay, cool.
We elbowed it in through the door. Wasn't that bad actually. And we put it in here, and it's a lot smaller than we thought it was going to be. Because with the other one, it used to swivel around, so you could sit like this, which gave you that little bit extra room. And you could swivel it this way for access to the shower, and this way for access to the vanity basin. But obviously this is fixed, it doesn't swivel, it can't swivel. So, but we're quite impressed because it sits here and there's plenty of room. And you don't have to step over it, you can still walk through to the shower. So all in all, very, very good. We're well happy with the sizing. We've got to move the loo roll holder, because when you lift the lid, that's not too bad. You could get around that, but you've got to lift this piece up for emptying purposes, and then it just gets in the way. So.
And to be honest with you, I always thought it was a pain in the arse there anyway, because like when you're on the loo and you need the walk up, you're having to reach behind you all the time.
Yeah.
So we will figure out where to put that.
Yeah. And when you're driving along, it tends to unroll itself as well, doesn't it? So
yes.
It wouldn't be the first time we come back after had a bit of a drive around the old country lanes and stuff. And all the toilet roll was on the floor.
So I had to peg it
to
stop it from happening. So yeah, we will decide where we're going to put that.
And we're going to have to work out now how to vent it and screw it down. Right.
And don't worry, that hole won't be there.
Yeah, we're going to have to cover the hole. Right. After much pushing and shoving and toing and throwing and arguments and generally messing around, we got it fitted.
Whatever,
nice and easy.
It took two minutes.
Yeah. So we had to cut away a piece of wood from the bottom there. I don't know if you can see that. Just here, because it was fouling on the plastic. That was easy, a bit of a standing knife job. And now it's fitted all nice and neatly. Everything works. So the next job is take it all away, mark the position for the template, and must remember to sort out the electrics before we fix it in place, because once you fixed it in place you can't get the electrics. We might have a slight advantage in that we've got a big hole in the back of the wall. But I was having a look and I couldn't see any, so I'm guessing it's under here. Just so you know, this lights up when the loo thing, when the urine is full. This one lights up, so it's not going to overflow.
Well, it says on the instructions, when it lights, you've probably got one, maybe two at a push wheeze.
Yeah.
That's going to be a Kevin wee, not a Willow wee, so I'll wee for England.
Right, let's see if we can mark the position of the template. I've already thought of a problem. Because we're not sticking it in a corner, we're going to have to work out where the template goes in relation to the edges. So let's have a look at this. Place this against the edge.
We're dancing around two toilets at the moment, so that's the big hole Kevin was talking about, because obviously that's where the cassette would be.
Yeah. And this is your template. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. And this edge has got to go against this wall to get the hole in the right place. All we've got to do is position it in this position correctly. Otherwise, it still won't be in the right place. But I think that's about it. I'm just going to cut this away because I don't need this edge. This is the important edge that I can put against here, and clearly I can't put it against here because of this piece of wood. That's it. Now for the scary bit. Drilling a hole in the floor. It's alright, the hole side's probably not deep enough, so we're going to have to drill it up from the bottom. No worries.
How do you know you get it?
Because I'll have a look. Oh, actually, the hole is actually there from underneath. So the drill bit's gone through. It's just that it's not quite deep enough for the floor. So let's go outside and drill it up from underneath.
Honey!
So just in case any of you are wondering, I've already had a look underneath, and there's nothing in the way. There's no pipe work. There's no tanks. It's just a bit of wood.
I don't know what I can see here.
The drill just about fits.
You have to.
There you go, look. See? Yeah, just about fits in there. Oh, I know, no safety goggles, no gloves. But I've got glasses on, so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to need 2 hands for this, so I'm going to have to knock you off now.
Sawdust everywhere.
There you go, done.
Done. As easy as that.
Sharp tools, proper kit, makes all the difference.
And there it is, guys. So that's the insulation, obviously. Oh, what is it really, when you think about it? Oh, it's like a marshmallow. I think the liner was on this bit. That bit was underneath. There he is.
Here I am.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. That's an idea. So the next job on the list is to connect up the electrics. Luckily, we've already had a 12-volt supply to the other toilet, so you can see where I've cut the wires and just taped it off with thing for safety's sake.
Hey, honey, I'm home.
So yeah, we're just going to get the crimpers out and crimp up the connections. So the toilet is designed so you can use it in like your garden shed or whatever. So supply a mains adapter so you can plug it into the mains, and they supply some crocodile clips with inline fuse for 12 volts for running off a battery or something like that. Obviously we don't need either of that, but we do need their plug to go into their system. So what I'm going to use is the 12 volt, cut off the crocodile clips, keeping the inline fuse because obviously it needs to be fused. And yeah, I'm going to get the crimpers out, wire it all together, clip it all together. Big instructions, big letters in the instructions. Make sure you connect up the electrics before you screw it in, because once you screwed it in, you can't get at the back of the thing, back of the toilet. Even with our big hole in the back of the van, we still can't get at the back of the toilet. So next job, electrics. There's the ends crimped. I was clever. I used the blue one for the earth and the red one for the live, just so I know, just so I can't connect it around the wrong way, because you really don't want the fan running backwards, do you? It's a simple fan, but I'm guessing if you connect up to 12 volt the wrong way round, it's going to run backwards, so it's going to suck in nice fresh air from the outside and blow it all over your toilet, which is obviously not the idea. So this is the plug that I was talking about. It's their specialist fitting, only goes in one way round and it just clips into the back here. I'm going to pick this up on the camera. There we go. Just clips in here. So just there we go. And it's locked. So all I've got to do now is crimp the live ends and connect it all up. See if it still works.
We're getting there. Excuse the state of the place, but there's not a lot of room to move when you've got 2 toilets on the go.
Neither of which work.
Yeah. So another reason why we parked where we is because there's an IKEA just across the way, so we can use the facilities if we need to. But just so you know, I've just turned the electric off. We've got to be safe. I know it's only 12 volt, but at the end of the day, don't mess about with electric.
It's not going to harm you, but it's unlikely to harm you. Obviously 12 volt can get very powerful. Just stick your hand, no, don't.
Don't stick anything anywhere. Yeah.
But you know, if I manage to fuse this, it's going to blow a fuse somewhere in these electrics. It's coach built. I wouldn't have a clue where to find them.
Yeah. So it's off. Keep my baby safe.
So you saw us drill the hole. We fitted it through, cut the pipe. This bit. I'm never any good at cutting square angles. Really not cutting square angles.
It's round and square.
This is the bit that goes into the toilet, and then the pipe goes directly into there. It comes out underneath the van, and this is a insect cowl with a shield on it, and they recommend you fit it underneath, and they recommend it's fitted to stop any insects crawling up inside, because it gives you direct access to the toilet from here. If it's just sitting out the side, they say just put it on like that, no worries at all. Protects it from the rain and the snow. If it's underneath, they recommend you fit this piece as well. That just slides in there, and they give you a couple of screws which you can tighten down. Bit of a panic. In the picture it shows an Allen key, and they're actually star fittings, but luckily, being van lifers and all of that, we tend to have a lot of just about every solution in the garage. So this should just tighten down onto here. That's it, and I've got one for this side as well. As it's going to be sitting under the van, and I'm conscious of the fact that there's going to be water spraying up from the wheels and stuff like that, I am going to make a couple of holes in the bottom of this, so if anything does, if we're driving down roads or whatever and it does fill with water, it will drain away, so no worries at all. Just put that in there. And obviously this pipe just sits in here like this, and there's a couple of screw marks here, so we're going to put some goo on it anyway to seal it, but with a couple of screws in it just to make sure, because we don't want anything falling off.
We sure don't. And Kevin does like to go over rough terrain, and we have lost the water pipe. How many times? once. And once you knocked it off.
Yeah. What? Because when you're backing up, you know, this thing, as we said before, is 24 foot long. So sticking it into normal parking spaces is interesting. So we tend to park at the back of car parks and then like to reverse out, so the overhang is over a grass verge or whatever. But every now and again there's something hidden in the grass verge, or the grass verge slopes up, and the fresh water pipe is the first thing that comes in contact with anything that's there. It's a little bit of a disadvantage because, you know, you fight for your life to fill up with fresh water, and of course you only ever do it when you've just filled up the tank. And by the time anybody points it out to you or you've noticed, that's the end of that. Did I leave this in my drill case?
I think that's a good idea, darling. A drill bit to go in the drill case.
Well, it's a screwdriver. It's a screw bit, isn't it?
Same thing goes on your drill, doesn't it?
There we go. All glued and screwed. We use sticks like this stuff. It's all weather, and it does as well. You can imagine what it sticks like.
It is amazing stuff. It's the best stuff on the market for adhesive.
Yeah. It takes 24 hours to go off, so it's not a contact adhesive. It says bonds quite quickly, but yeah, it does bond immediately, but it stays wet for about 24 hours. So if you are using this stuff, but once it's dry, it really does do the job. And it sticks most stuff. There we go. Right, now we're going to fit the toilet.
A big fit. So where do you want me? Here or there?
There, because I'm going to shove this, unless of course you want to crawl underneath the van.
No, it's okay, you're going to shove it up there.
I'm going to shove this up the hole. Going to put some goo on it, some of this stuff on it. I'm going to fight. I'm not confident in it staying in the toilet, because there's no way of permanently fixing it into the bottom of the toilet. It's not like there's a sort of like little screw things that you can just screw through. And I mean, it has got the rubber grommet and everything. This bit sits on here, and that bit shoves into the toilet. But you know, it's a rattly van. Stuff falls apart all the time in the van. It's just the nature of the van.
It doesn't fall apart. It comes loose.
It comes loose,
yes.
And I would hate to lose this bit of pipe. So what I'm going to do, as soon as we're at B&Q, I'm going to go and find myself a little bracket, because it's wood underneath. I'm going to find myself a little angle bracket. Once this is fitted, I'm just going to put a little screw in there and a little screw up there, and it's then fitted in place.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. You can't fix it too much, can you? Over-engineered. Works every time. Right, I'm going to go and shove it up the hole.
Okay.
Oh, you want a bit. Right then. Right. Hole. Obviously first make sure we've got our electric, so that's the permanent 12 volt that we've got coming in, and these are the electrics that we made earlier. Just shove them in there out of the way so they don't get covered in what have you. So push this up here like this. Squirt some gunk down the hole, shove some stuff up in the rear. I can't see what I'm doing, so hopefully there's some stuff being stuck somewhere.
No, it's just coming out, but it's not. It's
stick it round.
Can't get my fingers in the hole. Right, you need a bit more. Yep, hang on.
Right then, hopefully this will just... I need you to go and hold the loo. Definitely a two-person job, this. Definitely a two-person job. That's it. There we go. Just push that up in there. And we have a quick look under here, make sure it's the right way around. There we go. I think that's probably the best idea. And hopefully that's the ventilation system fitted. So now we can connect up the electrics. You see these two holes here. These two holes are designed to fix it to a wall. Enter one wall. So once we've connected the electrics and we make sure everything's working, we can close this off. And having fixed it through to the floor anyway, we can put 2 additional screws in here, and in that way nobody's going to be opening this flap without anybody knowing about it, because they might try and nick the cassette. We haven't had any problems yet, but you never know. That's it, here we go. So just connect up the electrics. I like working with quite a bit of spare. Put that one in there. Push that one in there.
Come on, do we turn the electric off?
No, that's alright. That's it. And then got the fuse. And hopefully now I should be able to feel it all running. Let's have a feel under here. Yep, I think that's okay. So, job done. All we've got to do now is screw the thing to the floor, and we'll be well away. That's it.
Right, I just pulled it. The camera just rotated, so that's just showing you that it's working. And that light will stay on until we put the insides into the loo. So obviously this bit here is where the earring goes, and that's where the bucket is going to go for the toilet, and this all lifts up. You can see there's going to be some screws going there, and this is a fan, which will sound quite a bit quieter once all the other gubbins is in there. So yeah, it's looking really good. I can't believe how much space we've got. So the other toilet come out probably about here, and you could swivel it, as like Kevin said. So we've got loads of room to get through to the shower. Here I am now, and as you can see, we hang up our towels here. Yeah. Oh, it's exciting stuff.
So I was just checking that the toilet seems secure enough as it is. We haven't even put the screws in yet. These are the 3 holes. You've got one hole here, one here, one here. Going to put a pilot drill in there because these are big fat screws, and I really don't want to break anything, including my drill.
Hang on. So what are these then?
Oh, they're the things for the containers and everything.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I thought the screws were.
No.
But you're buying in. Oh, okay.
So that goes in there.
I did think it was a bit strange all at the front.
Yeah. Again, already checked underneath. Not that these are going all the way through anyway, because it's a big fat bit of floor. But just. There you go. Make 3 pilot holes. That's it. And
did you not bring the bit with you?
nah. Does anybody else do this? They put it down and then it just flies away.
Oh, God, you're a bloody nightmare.
I know. And the more tired I am, or the more sort of like, tired I am, the further it seems to run away to. It's going to be here somewhere.
It's not. You didn't put it in here, did you? What's this then?
That's another one. Oh, that is the one. Look at that. Oh, it might be another one actually. I don't know. These are the screws that come supplied with it. Obviously, you choose your own screws depending on what you're screwing it into. But this is a wooden floor, so we're all right. That's it. Done.
Screw 3. It's a trilogy, folks.
That's it. Here we go. Sorted. All nice and secure.
Oh, I'm just going to get some damp kitchen towel and...
Clean up the mess.
No, his mess. Not the mess, his mess.
No, it's not my mess.
Yes.
Drill holes you make.
Can you just concentrate on keeping stuff... Honestly, I've gone from that was clear and that was clear, and there's the stuff all over the seats. Poor Willow can't sit down. But hey ho, is what it is. It'll be straight soon. Just got to find somewhere to put that. And then
there we go. It's all done. All nicely fitted. We're gonna put some seal around the bottom because there's a little bit of a gap here. It's not a gap, but I suspect we could get some crud and stuff under there. A little bit of seal around there. Just finishing touches. It's all right. So this is the loo. When you're looking at it, I suppose it looks like a standard loo. No worries. The idea is that the pee goes down this bit, and your poop goes down that bit. And when you're sitting on it, like that, and when you get off it, sorry, that's it. There we go. The lid catches on the window frame. We're going to make sure it doesn't go all the way back. So. And when you get off it, all covered up, no worries.
what's the blue thing for?
And the blue thing is there, just like a sanitary block. They supply one. They'll supply extra ones at a cost, or I'm guessing that standard sanitary blocks will go in there. We'll see how it goes. So, and then when you want to get it out, lift up the whole thing. The urine container lifts out. There you go. It's not too bad, is it?
Nice and solid looking.
Nice and solid. That on there, and then take that one off for emptying purposes.
So the piece back there goes in that one, and then when you want to empty it, you put that lid,
On there.
stored lid on there, and that lid on there to empty it.
And then it all sits back in there like that. And as you can see, because you're going to be changing this every couple of days, you really don't want to be looking at what's in there, so it's all nicely covered up. When you do need to fill it, when you do need to check that out, this all lifts up for you. There's another lid that you can just put on the top, and then the whole thing lifts out. Body type. I mean, I suppose really you don't really need this. I mean, if it's carrying it somewhere, then yeah, fair dues. But if this comes off, and you can just tie the bag out, and then just take the bag out and put it all back in.
As well, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a handle for carrying it around.
Well, lift it out then, shall we?
There we go. This is just a bag thing, and you can take this off.
Just choose the bag in place.
And tie the bag up.
It's a composting bag, so what's in there will be similar to compost, and it will happen in weeks rather than months with like compost.
This is the fan bit where they're always talking about there's a filter under here. And the fan is running constantly. Obviously, putting it back together again, there's a little bit of a skill in it, because you've got to get it in the right place. Because if you don't get it in the right place, it's fairly obvious, because it doesn't close down properly. That's it. That sits on there. That all closes down.
It's quite a firm click.
Yeah.
There's the.
Yeah.
I should imagine once that's wet a couple of times it's going to stay.
Yeah, it's going to stay in place, but for the moment, it is what it is. So.
Who's going to christen it first? One wonders. Nobody yet, because there's still a bloody hole.
Yeah, we've got to fill the hole.
Oh dear.
And of course, we've got to replace the toilet roll.
Holder,
because it got in the way.
Happy?
Yeah, all in all, good job. And it's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And if it saves that every couple of day chore, that worry about where you're going to take your cassette, it's got to be a good thing, isn't it? Right. Fill hole, put that on, job done.
Yeah.
All in all, what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours?
Yeah, about 2.5 hours.
Next time, it will probably take me well less than 2.5 hours. Because obviously I didn't know how to take out the cassette toilet in the first place, and I was being really careful with this, making sure that everything was in the right place. But given a space that was already pre-prepared, or an outhouse or something, you could just plonk it down and you could whack it in well under an hour, no worries.
Yeah. So, happy girly, happy man. So I've just got to sort that hole out and have a tidy up. And then we're all ready to go. Oh, exciting.
Hi guys, just a quick update of the Tiny that we fitted. We've had it now for about a week. And yeah, it's great. It's been a total game changer. Absolutely brilliant. As I say, we've had it for about a week. The urine container, we have to empty that probably every other day. But it's a lot easier to manage, it's a lot smaller and it's less conspicuous, so it's very easy to take that into a toilet. And if you're going around any friends and stuff, they don't mind. They were a little bit dubious about the big cassette because they didn't know what it was going to do to the loo, and it was a bit wicky. The urine container, virtually no smell, so no problems at all. As for the other side, the poo side, so far so good. I would show you, but you probably don't want to have a look. It's about a third full, so hopefully we're going to get about 3 weeks out of it. But we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll probably put an update on it in a future video. When we left the last video, there was a hole in the wall. So we've managed to fix that. Let me just show you what we've done. Come around here. So here you can see here's the loo. We put the holes behind the silver plate. So we put some wire mesh over the hole on both sides and filled it with some foam. So nice and secure, nice and insulated, but you know, it's going to look pretty ugly. So we went back into B&Q. That's why we were there, remember? And we found a couple of these plates. And it looks good. Does the job. Very professional. And you'll also remember that when we were trying it out, we had a problem with this lid sticking under here. So the mechanism, when you sit on it, the mechanism opens the flap at the back. When you sit on it, the mechanism opens the flap here, so the poo will go down there. But it was getting stuck, so when you set up, the flap stayed open, which wasn't pleasant. And of course, it doesn't allow the fan to do its job properly. So we put this little stopper on here, and then that way it doesn't go back, it doesn't get stuck. As for the smell, no smell at all. Downsides? No, not really. I suppose if I'm being fussy, there is one minor downside. So as you know, it's connected to the 12-volt system, which is the van's 12-volt system, which only runs when the van's stationary. When you're driving the van around, the 12-volt back here is off, so the van's off. The fan in the toilet is off. I suppose we could have got around it by putting in a direct 12-volt supply, but that was a lot. That would have been a lot of extra work. And to be honest with you, when you're driving it around, because of the wind passing underneath the van, it will keep a slight vacuum on that pipe, and it will draw the air out. The only thing you've got to remember is when you stop, before you go and do whatever you want to do, you've got to switch the van electrics back on. We left it for a couple of hours, a couple of hours, a few days ago. And when we got back in the van, there was a bit of a smell, and then we realised that we forgot to leave the electrics on. The fan itself uses 2.5 watts, which has made no difference. We've been keeping an eye on it on the solar. It's made no difference to our battery levels at all. So all in all, excellent purchase. We're well happy with it. So if this video has been informative and you've liked what we've done, give us a thumbs up, give us a follow, give us all the normal stuff. We will be producing more videos. We will be getting better at it, hopefully, because we're new to this video game. We like Insta, that's easy. But all this and the editing and stuff like that. But as I say, if you like it, hit the subscribe button, you'll see some more stuff. There's already some stuff up there. It's some of our old stuff. Again, we're still practicing. We promise it will get better. Hit the like button, as I said, and thanks for watching.